Took this trade in the A period. I was basically playing the sweep when we come over top of that overnight high and then fell back into the range from overnight. That's your settlement at the green line. And then that's the weekly volume profile POC there, that green, what looks like a regular POC there. So I thought we'd at least come down and test that value area high from today, which is pretty much where my order is. That would be my 27 ticks. But we do bump up just a little bit more, and I can't resist adding another contract because it gets so much cheaper. And I would still be out of the trade if we continued any higher with the A period. I kind of thought we'd fall back, into that range. Maybe the B period would open, but we do have the JOLTS report that's going to come out at 10 o'clock. So I was really trying to be out of this trade before we even got to that point. You can see it kind of, here I'm pretty optimistic. And when it does come down, heading towards my targets, but it gets kind of bouncy. It's kind of resistant to move lower. And as that happens, I start to lose confidence in the trade, basically. It kind of grinds around up here. And I'm watching that separation in the volume profile there, how you have the cutout, basically where my entry's at. You're getting that node developing up there. There was a couple times in this trade, I was thinking of just scratching it and moving on, but it seemed right to me. But I didn't like how, every time we'd move down, it would bounce up quite a bit. But, the A period's kind of erratic anyways. So I was, I wasn't going to add any contracts to this or anything like that, unless we were to get to, we'd have to be down below my entry. And then if we got B period to open and that popped up basically to around my entry or maybe that weekly POC area, which is also the POC from yesterday, then I might add to that B period. But at this point, I would just leave this alone and kind of see what happens. Like I said, I did think about just scratching this one, but I just thought for sure we would test a little bit lower. This is going to be another one of those trades when it comes so close to my entry. But probably what I should do is, I didn't really look at that target. I kind of knew that was the area that I wanted to be at. But see how the volume profile, cuts out right there. I probably should be up in that right about there is where I should take that first one. And I definitely should have just, brought that target up. You can see it came right there to 1650, I think 1675. But I would normally just bring that target up. Why I didn't do that, I'm not sure. But looking at if you look at that, like I was saying, if you look at that volume profile, I should have been up in that profile just a little bit. You can see, that now the value at high is right there. I should have been, up, like I keep saying, up in that profile instead of being right at the cutout or the transition between that next node and that top node there. At this point, I was really regretting it. Again, I almost scratched the trade here and just started over. I think that was an error on my part. I should have definitely just closed that trade, but I've been working on trying to hold it, pick my targets and hold it. But I just didn't, I probably didn't think that through enough as far as where the target was in that volume profile. I was kind of thinking, that this would move lower than that. So that first target wasn't necessarily going to be an issue. I was just pointing out there, that's the bottom of yesterday's value area. So, I wanted to get this first target off before we got to that. And I thought there was a chance we might move down. If it really started moving, we could get down to the open, which is that orange line. And then your next thing you'd be looking at, if you did get down that far, would be that POC. As we start moving down here again, there's no way I'm giving this up a second time. So now I'm looking basically where that value area high is now, which is, where I should have been in the first place. So I'd be out of that first contract at this point. So I think I made a couple mistakes in this trade. I should have taken that first contract when it came up. And then after I get this first one off, I'm pretty confident that we're not going to move lower. You can see how every time you try to push down, it bounces back up. And they push it down and it bounces back up. And we do get one move where it pushes through, which I think is coming up soon here. I take the first one, right around where I should have taken it the first place. And then it does, right here, it does push down. I see 28 ticks there. I should have just taken this one because I was kind of not feeling like it was going to keep going anyways. But, this is how I would normally handle this trade is, bring that stop down, kind of let it follow through. And I should have just taken it at the 28 ticks there.